Phoenix Books presents Unfinished Lives, What If Our Legends Lived On? Volume 1. Fictional biographies of John F. Kennedy, written by Les Whitten and narrated by Anthony Heald. And Arthur Ashe, written by Terry Maxine Frankel and narrated by Paul Winfield. This collection of audio performances is copyright 2014 Phoenix Books. It has been digitally remastered from the original 1996 Dove Audio sound recording. John F. Kennedy, written by Les Whitten and narrated by Anthony Heald.
Researcher's note. The following fragment, produced verbatim, was found among the presidential papers of the late President John F. Kennedy, 1961 to 1965 and 1969 to 1973. He asked that these be sealed until his death. It was obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. Members of his family were unaware of its existence. It is unknown whether it was intended to be published as is, or even published at all. One family member who asked not to be identified said he had heard President Kennedy speak of an outline of a personal autobiography not long before his death on June 10, 1987, at the age of 70, from complications arising from a sailboat racing accident.
The night before, in Fort Worth, I heard on the radio that overcast skies were expected in Dallas, and I turned to Jackie before we went to sleep and told her it might rain. "Well," she had said, sighing resignedly, "let it come down." I knew the quotation came from somewhere, and I asked her, and she tried to remember, and then said, yes, it was from Macbeth. Banquo, walking with his son at night, had said something like, "It will rain tonight." And one of the murderers sent by Macbeth had murmured, "Let it come down," and had stabbed Banquo. "Well," I said, turning the conversation away from that sort of thought, "when I think of the pot I am beginning to get from this Texas food, I feel more like Falstaff than Macbeth." It did not rain. In Dallas, the skies cleared. We did without the bubble top on the limousine, so I could wave at the crowds, which would get us better TV coverage. I was not thinking about the crowds as I smiled and waved, but about the fall of Diem, the president we had installed in Saigon, and how much the CIA had or didn't have to do with it. Beside me, I heard Jackie gasp, and I stopped thinking about Vietnam for a moment and turned to her. Her hat had been caught by a small gust of wind, and she raised her hand to hold it to her head. I remember smiling at her efforts, and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?